Hi, this is Holly of Holly's Soapmaking. In this video, I'll show you how I made a gradient soap using orange clay and black walnut hull powder and scented with a sweet orange cedarwood blend of essential oils. If you're interested in the recipe I used, you'll find it at the end of this video where I enter it into a soap calculator. All of the other information and links will be listed in the description box below. Just a quick reminder that soap making involves the use of sodium hydroxide or lye, which can burn your skin and damage your eyes. So be sure to wear the appropriate safety gear and work in a well-ventilated area away from children and pets. If you need help with lye safety or beginner soap making, be sure to check out the links below this video. I chose a brown and orange color palette to match the fragrance. I prepared some black walnut hull powder by mixing it with distilled water. And for the orange, I mixed orange lilac clay with a little distilled water. I mixed both of these colorants with water so they'd be easier to blend into the soap later. But you could skip this step and just add them dry if you prefer. When making the lye, always add the sodium hydroxide to the water, not the other way around, and never stand directly over the container or breathe any of the fumes. If you're unlike me and can actually remember to freeze some distilled water ahead of time, I highly recommend using ice or a mixture of ice and distilled water because that will greatly reduce any fumes and keep the temperature lower. Once the sodium hydroxide is completely dissolved, I set the lye aside to cool down and weighed out the oils and butters. My essential oil blend included sweet orange, cedarwood, and patchouli. You may have noticed that I'm holding a stick against the bottle opening as I pour. I wanted to say a quick thanks to Shonna of NEZUMI Soaps for mentioning this handy trick in one of her recent videos. If you hold a stick against the bottle opening, the oil won't run down the side or drip when you're done. I also added white kaolin clay to the essential oils, but you could just add this directly to the soap if you prefer. I don't really know if it helps hold the scent of the essential oils or not. I just like it in my soaps and usually add it this way out of habit. After the oils and lye reached an emulsion, I stirred in the essential oils and then divided it into 2 equal parts. For the brown soap, I added 2 teaspoons of the hydrated walnut hull powder to 4½ cups of soap. For the orange soap, I added 1 teaspoon of the orange clay to 4½ cups of soap. Once the colors were incorporated and the soap was ready to pour, I divided it equally into 4 containers. My plan was to do a 4-color gradient, alternating the orange and brown, and it mostly turned out like I hoped it would, but I might use less brown soap next time. When adding the soap to the cup for the gradient, I counted to 2 and tried to keep my pours consistent. I did oven process the soap to help it go through gel phase so it would produce more vibrant colors and hopefully be easier to unmold. I removed the soap from the oven the next morning and left it covered on the counter for another 24 hours, and then I removed it from the mold and cut it. Since this was a cold process soap, I made sure the top of lye was set to sodium hydroxide or NaOH. My recipe oil weight was 1400 grams. I did have a little soap left over, so I might reduce this to 1300 grams next time. The lye concentration was 35%, which means my lye solution consisted of 35% sodium hydroxide and 65% water. I left the superfat at 5%, and my fragrance usage rate was 40 grams per kilogram. Once you have everything entered, you just select to calculate the recipe, then to view or print it. SOAPCALC will give you a really nice listing of your ingredients, including the amount of sodium hydroxide required to saponify your oils. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found something useful here to help you in your soap making.